Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Today we are here for a short question answer session, and I'm going to ask you some question on behalf of all the commerce students.
Right.
So my first question to you will be, sir, that as a commerce student, our first priority is always accounts,
Right.
but sometimes we face some difficulties while solving accounts, and it's huge. The syllabus is actually huge in class 12.
Right.
So I would like to ask you that how to prepare for accounts when 2.5 months is left for our ISC.
Well, a nice question raised by you, Sushmita. I'll tell you, accounts is a subject which needs conceptual clarity, right, and logical presentation. Fine. So if your concepts are clear and logically, if you can present your answer with proper format and everything, then I think you'll be able to answer the questions. And it needs practice. Accounts needs practice. If you have practiced well beforehand, then you won't face any difficulty. Right. Now, as a student, when a student prepares for accounts, what he does is, after each chapter, he makes a notes. What are the important points? He keeps on jotting it down. Right. So when you're going for a revision, in the last moment, you can just go through first of all, the format. What is the format? And then the concepts part, the journal entries, ledger, how it is prepared, right? And then whatever important points you have jotted down, if you just go through it, you will be preparing very well for the exam. That's what I think, right?
Absolutely, sir. Next thing, I think that from the experience from the last 2 to 3 years, we have seen that students are unable to complete the paper.
Right.
So my next question to you, sir, will be that how to complete accounts paper in time, as the question paper nowadays is becoming very lengthy.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would like to ask you if you can give any suggestions or tips in terms of this.
Right. Now, what happens is, accounts paper, first of all, the reading time should be utilized very nicely. That 15 minutes reading time is very crucial. At that time, you see which questions you know very well and which are the questions wherein you have little bit difficulty or doubts. Right. Questions which you are very much assured, like I know it very well, you will start with those questions. Right. Whether it be section A or section B. Right. You start with those questions which you know very well. So that once you complete those, your confidence level will come high. That yes, I have completed this much paper. Right. So in that regard, I'll tell you, there are, while reading the question paper, you should be very clear about what the question is asking. That should be very clear to the student. Sometimes what happens, students do not read the question properly. As what they have practiced at home, accordingly they start doing it in the exam also. Right. For example, I'll give a small example. Say if in the schedule 3 balance sheet, if I ask you, show the extract of the balance sheet. Right. Show the extract of the balance sheet, wherein you have to show the notes to accounts as well for only share capital. Right.
Yes.
But students, what do? They start making notes to accounts for each and everything, right? And they show the full balance sheet. That is wrong. Question has asked you show the extract for the share capital and show its notes to accounts. But what the student is showing? The student is showing the complete balance sheet because he has studied from home. He is prepared at home that we have to do the complete balance sheet and he is doing the full balance sheet. That should not be done, right? What is being asked, be very specific to it, right? The second one more example I tell you. Suppose that's an item or single item, like a subhead with a single matter in it. Suppose if I say long-term borrowing, yes, only debentures is given in the question, right? So you don't have to prepare notes to accounts for long-term borrowing separately. What you will do is, in the balance sheet, just write long-term borrowing. In the bracket you can write debentures because it's a single item. Had it been more than one item, then in that case you can make notes to accounts. By adding those 2 items, you'll put the figure in the long-term borrowing. But if only one item is there, you can just show it in the bracket. This will save your time.
And so that brings me to my next question. Most of us, we get confused that whether we can answer the questions in any order or not. Sometimes we feel that some questions are a lot easier than the others. So can we answer them in any order if we give the question numbers properly, obviously?
Now, I'll answer you as an examiner. When we are doing the corrections of the answer sheet, what we like to see is, students, if they answer the questions in serial order, it becomes easier for us to check the answer sheet. But one thing is very clear, wherever you do the answer and whatever order you do the answer, we will check your answer sheet and we'll mark it. we'll mark all the answers, whatever you have answered, right? But prefer to always go section wise. If you know the section B very well, go for the section B, attempt all the answers of section B, then go to the section A, right? Order, it can be any order you do it, right? But don't keep on switching from section A to B, that irritates the examiner, right?
Yes, sir.
So mind it.
So my last question to you will be that our account syllabus, it's very vast.
Yeah.
And sometimes we are not prepared with each and every chapter.
Right.
So which chapter should be more prioritized, or which chapter should be focused more? Maybe the weightage of the chapter is more, and we can score well if we focus on those subjects, and maybe get in, like averagely we can get like more number than what we have studied for the other chapters which are difficult.
Right. Let me tell you here. Section A, Section B, we have 2 sections, you know very well. In Section B, have the management accounting. Section A, we have partnership and company accounts, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, the council has given the breakup of the marks of each chapter wise. It has been given in the scope. In the very first page, it has been given, right? So, based upon that, I'm telling you, focus when you are going for partnership, focus upon first of all fundamentals chapter, because that will fetch you 11 marks. Right?
Yes.
After completing the fundamentals chapter revision properly, once you are prepared with the fundamentals, then you go to your dissolution chapter. That will give you 8 marks. Right? So 11 plus 8, just by doing 2 chapters you are getting it. Whereas the other 3 chapters, the valuation of goodwill, admission, retirement, death, all these 3 chapters when you cover, then you are going to cover up 15 marks. So your priority should be, first of all, do the fundamentals chapter very nicely, that PL appropriation, partners capital account, how to prepare, that you complete it first. Then you go for the dissolution chapter. Once you are done with it, then you move to the admission, retirement and death, right? In this way you will cover your partnership part. Coming to the company accounts you should give more focus and do very nicely your issue of shares chapter. That chapter alone gives us 11 marks. So complete the issue of shares chapter properly. Nowadays questions are coming like they are giving fill in the blanks question in issue of shares, right? Pro rata questions based on the pro rata allotment is coming, right? So make sure you know the pro rata allotment sums very nicely. The issue of shares sums with the fill in the blanks. Practice more and more sums of that kind, right? These are recently coming up in the exams.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. All the advices and the strategies that you have provided us, I think will help the students to score well in their upcoming boards. And we wish all the best to the students who are going to appear for their boards in 2026. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.